I feel like. But honestly, like I have heard.
Yeah, I feel like we didn't touch down enough on grills in general in your guild. I feel like historically, I mean, it does depend on the person, but they're different. Everyone obviously different personalities.
Yeah.
But there's different kinds of grills for sure that join guilds, I think.
That's what I was gonna say because
this Bashir quest
right
is
now,
amazing.
I mean, like I said, right? So Shinshu, I guess I'll say her name because I don't even know why I tried to keep it hidden. That was stupid. But so yeah, Shinshu came in, started out as a very serious raider. Like definitely, she did 100%. We have Cupcakes right now. Given she's much more mature, she's older, right? Like I think I was talking to somebody about that earlier today. She has the mentality. She's definitely not there to get attention. Is basically what I'm saying, right? So you do have and Rumiko as well. So you definitely have people with that mentality. They're not there to get that attention, and but you have people like, if you remember the priest from back in TOT, the girl we had who was allegedly
oh my lord,
right? We don't even know if that was a girl. It could have been a guy for all we know, but was definitely there to get attention. And I think that's part of the issue, is that I just like, it doesn't have to be a girl, but I feel like there are people who definitely come in for that attention seeking, you know, like for whatever reason. Why you want to have the attention of a bunch of guys on the internet? I don't know. What about you, Moonjin? You told me a story from your old guild before you joined us, because you've been with us for a long time now.
Which story?
Of the girl who would jump around from guy to guy and then ended up breaking up the guild, I think, right? Or something? Maybe not breaking it up.
One girl in our guild. We had a couple. And it seems like, and she would, kind of, it seemed like a month-to-month thing, would kind of jump around from different guys to focus on and kind of hang out with, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Do quests and dailies, things like that. And that got to be a real problem in our guild, because it was clearly very much about attention.
But see, that's also that's not like a problem with just the girls, right? It's like
that's a problem with
the guys too. Yeah.
Yeah.
If the guys treated, and this is serious, if guys treated girls on the internet like normal people, we honestly probably would have much less of an issue with this. I think it is exactly as much fault at the guy, like, you know, the guy's fault as the girls. Yeah, they're
niggas too thirsty.
Go get a drink. Calm down.
I don't know. There's different kinds of girls you can have in guilds. Like obviously, there's the kind that just want attention. There's some. Historically, I've seen a number of girls that are like. It's like, oh look, it's a female Taran hunter, and it's like this woman is like almost 50, or like they play a Belf or that. But
wait, what's the point of pointing out the races there, man?
Yeah.
That's a clear in World of Warcraft at least. It's like, oh, female, she's a healer. Or she's a female blood elf hunter.
Oh yeah.
Or female blood elf priest.
What are you trying?
That's really funny because we have a female blood elf hunter, who is a female. That's good. That's good. And we also have a female Tor. Were you just taking examples from our guild?
No, these are actual. Before these are real stereotypes. But I don't know. It's in my general experience, it's hard to say, because obviously females in World of Warcraft are the minority, but they I've seen a lot of bad female players, but
I've seen a lot of bad guy players.
Exactly,
too.
Probably
seen a lot more bad guy players.
But it's hard to say because they are the minority. So
that's what I was saying earlier, right? When you have a minority, it is easier to apply a stereotype to the minority than it is to a large pool of, like, players, right? You have a large pool of players, there's going to be a lot more diverse people, right? So it's harder, I guess, is what I'm saying. Yeah.
I feel like I have way more to say about this topic, but obviously this being the first time we're doing a podcast, it's like.
I know it's.
Exactly in a way.
Sure, yeah. I have a lot I want to say as well, but I don't want to get. I don't want to get too Because there's so much you can say about it. So much different. Yeah, I don't want to seem too much like a dickhead on the very first one. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, I don't think that's really a problem.
Yeah, I mean,
you're not calling you a dickhead. I mean,
that's exactly what you're doing.
Ooh.
Sorry, what? Go ahead.
But what do you? So
Well, I'm saying that because I've been saying, right, there's stereotypes. It's easy to apply a stereotype to a minority, but obviously stereotypes come from somewhere, right?
Yeah.
There are.
Ooh.
I'm just saying.
Ooh. Oh.
I'm just saying. You know, hey. Obviously, not all girls are looking for attention in a guild, but there are definitely ones who join looking for that. There's also guys who pretend to be girls looking for that same attention. That's a little weird and different, but
that's a bit of a different.
I know. It's a bit of another topic entirely, but yeah. Okay. So get over your performance anxiety. What's chewing at your mind there?
I'm just thinking, and this is kind of a person, it's a story relating to the guild I was in before I joined this guild, and we had a number of girls. I can't remember exactly. I just remember two. There's the one that was really manipulative. We had another girl, who she was a healer, and she fucking sucked as a healer, but she was always in our guild. And we raided with her a lot. And I remember she liked attention, but not in like a everyone come praise me kind of way. It was she yelled a lot in that way.
I've never had a girl like that in a guild before.
I'm angry. Everyone listen. And I remember
okay.
One
yeah,
time,
okay, I got it.
we were talking about them. And my GM said something. He's like, oh, like after she left Vent, he's like, oh Christ, the fury in that woman. And it was like, oh my. But and this is a little weird. I remember I didn't. Some people didn't like that she yelled, but for me it was like, dude, she's yelling at us, dude. This is awesome. I don't know why. It was cool though. It was like, yeah, do it, like yell, do it.
Oh man.
Did you feel that way anytime like the past girls who've been in our guild yelled at us?
No.
It's just this one specific girl.
Yeah, the way it was weird.
So you're a masochist, is what you're saying.
I think maybe a little bit.
There you have it, folks. Coming out of the. I don't even know. I don't know if you call it a closet, but. Out of the Iron Maiden there.
Oh, Chris's face on stream.
It's alright. Man, as soon as you're just like, yeah, she's yelling at us. I lost it, man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we should
a little bit
move on to the. I mean, there's a lot to say about this, and I'm sure one day we'll come back to it.
Come back to it easily.
Yeah, I'm sure
stories.
One day we can come back to it maybe or whatever, but we should move on to the next topic because we're quickly running out of time here. I think we have what 20 minutes left or something.
It's 10 if you want to go at 8.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
well,
Moonjin, what you got?
See, I didn't. I don't really have. I'm underprepared.
Let's talk about you being a masochist.
Let's not. Let's talk about.
Do you ever find yourself in a hardware store just looking at ropes like, damn, that's a strong looking rope.
You kids. We briefly talked about the upcoming book. I think that's a good way to close it. The Illidan.
What do we
kind of bring it back to
more
lore discussion a little
more
bit.
Lore discussion. Okay.
Because that's something we all enjoy.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. So what we were talking about earlier today, to fill you in, Chris, and the viewers who weren't here for this conversation. So Blizzard recently announced that the new Illidan book is coming out, and there's a lot of different opinions on it. See, there are people who are hoping that it's going to be a recap of Illidan's story, just retelling what we already know about Illidan, and they don't want it to be, and and there are people who don't want it to be anything new.
Where did they now announce the a book exactly?
It was a blue post, a tweet, something like that. You can find it on MMO Champ. There's a big thread on it.
Must not be a good book.
It's being written by some guy who wrote some Warhammer books. But he no. So yeah, some people are hoping it'll be a recap. Some people are hoping that it'll be something completely new. And the reason people want it to be a recap is because they're saying, if you're gonna add new story, put that in my game as content. Don't put that in a book. Like let me play that. You know, put that in the game. So what's your guys' opinion on that? Because for me personally, I buy all the books anyway. I love reading them. But yeah, I think it'd be kind of cool to like actually see that happen. As much as I like reading the books, of course, and I love having additional lore in the book. You know, I would like to see that in game, but I also feel like that's a catch-22, right? Because you can't really have both. Because as long as there's books with new content, with new lore, you're gonna miss out on that content, right? So, what do you guys think about that? What's your opinions?
I'm not opposed to the idea. I personally like it, but on the same end, I own not all of them. I own a decent number of the actual World of Warcraft books, but I don't read much. So I have about probably 6 or 7 that I haven't read because I'm a shitter when it comes to reading.
Oh, I know.
But I like the idea of lore coming from books, and that I think it's more with Illidan in specific. Do we really need a retelling in the form of the book? Who is that? I mean, obviously people will buy it, but I feel like it would be a better sell to have it kind of continuing his story, say maybe leading up like a little bit before Gul'dan wakes him up, around then.
Leading up to it, so like it's like,
yeah, and then maybe probably like after a little bit.
Here's my thing, okay? So in War Crimes, right? You have Garrosh. He's on trial.
Oh, so wait. Talking about. See, I had a point about this. Is that
okay? Go
I feel like I like the idea of having lore in books be separate from lore in game, because like there's already a lot of in-game like stretch lore where our characters shouldn't be there, but they are just to see it, kind of deal. And I like separate book lore. You know,
well, I think the lore of Regretta and the Adventurers is kind of, it's pretty.
They're canon. They're canon though.
Canon,
they're mentioned in a few of the books. Like we're mentioned in Tides of War. We're mentioned because we break out Thalen's Songweaver, obviously, right? Garrosh says something about like, oh, I sent I sent some heroes to do whatever, and it's really, but you know, like our characters are really undefined. Like, you know, calling someone a hero, like, oh, you know, I just sent some heroes, and saying that so casually sounds really, sounds wrong, I guess. But yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, I think having book lore is good. Like War Crimes is like a perfect example. Because were they gonna have us? Were they gonna have us in game go to the trial and then like somehow see behind the scenes of the trial? Like it didn't really make sense.
I totally understand what you're saying because I agree. Like it wouldn't be exciting to see for sure, but at the same time, you know, everybody.
Sorry to interrupt, Chris. You didn't update the topic. But sorry, continue.
Oh yes, that's true.
You know, everybody talks about so whatever, the trial's going on, so everybody you know talks about the trial. They know what happened, you know, it's there, like people are aware of it, but so much other stuff happened in the background with that trial that you can't really you know say in game. Like there was that whole thing with Varisa and Sylvanas, and I feel like that's going to come in as a big part of next expansion, and by the time it comes in for next expansion, Blizzard will have found a way to make that common knowledge. Like even if it's an offhand comment by Varisa being like, I thought I could love my sister, but she just wanted to kill my kids and turn me into a zombie and love me. So like, I feel like the books are necessary for those little tidbits of lore that, because really like, unless they put it in a cutscene, a lot of people don't read quest text the first time through. You know what I'm saying? Like, so putting that in a book, I feel like that's a good way to get that knowledge in place, and then if it becomes relevant later, you can make sure it's apparent.
Yeah, I feel like people that obviously it would be nice to see new story in game, but Blizzard's obviously working on that.